You all know that is one of my favorites, and a song I constantly share with my older daughters. And I wanted to share that again with you all this morning. Blessed good morning to everybody across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. This is Voices of the Street, right? And we have a new school term, so parents are on the move this morning with their children. Some of them, children are on the move to school. So very important, this process of education. Yes, there are some issues with the system itself, but it has value in it as well. And we must ensure that we get as much value as possible for our children. So encourage them this morning. Ensure that your words to them are positive. Encourage them. Encourage them as much as possible. Encourage them to pay attention while they are in school. Right? Encourage them to enjoy. If they see you positively reinforcing, the process of education, paying attention to them through that process of education, then they too will value. They will value school and this process as well. So a really blessed good morning to all of those children heading to school this morning. I have already seen some tremendously successful children in the future, not just because they may look a certain way or whatever, also because I see their parents standing with them, because I see the sacrifices of some of their parents with them. And I really want to put that out to the parents of Trinidad and Tobago. The most important factor in the success of your children educationally is that effort that you put in. Yes, the bag and the whatever and the implements for school were important. They are extremely important. But more than that, your input, that little 10 or 20 minutes on an evening when they come home, and whatever time you could put in on a morning to encourage them before they go out. That check-in, if you ain't checking, then it is very likely that those children will not check. Alright, so still remaining for us the greatest opportunity for upward mobility, the greatest opportunity to move your family forward, the greatest opportunity even for yourself and your own life to be improved is through the education of your children. Listen to me carefully this morning, please, everybody. Share it if somebody might benefit from it. You might be in a position where it's a little challenging, extremely challenging, economically and otherwise. The greatest opportunity to alleviate, to fix, to improve that condition is through the education of that blessing of a child, whoever has a child. That blessing and responsibility is through the education of that child. This is statistically, wherever, the greatest movement forward. So make that effort. And I really smiled this morning when I passed a few children, mother predominantly, right? Mother standing next to them, ready early this morning. Had to be earlier because you see the hour I'm here and they are already out. mothers standing next to them, carrying them to school as well. Right? Let us do our very, very, very best for these children and for ourselves. In your older age, you will thank yourself, you will reap the rewards of that which you have sown. If you put love, effort, attention into children, you will reap tremendous rewards. You will not regret it in the future. So let us keep our heads on, even though we have those other challenges. Work might be tedious and take a large part of our time. Sometimes some of us work 1-2 jobs, etc., just to make it through. And speak continuously to the children as well. Many challenges to, get schools in order over the extended holiday period. It was extended a little bit. We have reports that most of the projects have been completed. That's from the government perspective. But I also want to say good morning to those parents, Samaritans, those people who went into schools and did work over this period of time themselves. Yeah, big up and good morning to Miss Charles and her team from La Hoquita. Big up Ayana and her crew from Carnage and everybody in between. Across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, there were parents, maybe teachers, well-wishers, others who contributed and assisted to help. And it has some things not in order yet. It has some things not in total order yet. And we hope that even as we start the school term, within the period we will get these things in order. But that love and that effort that was put in, it is important to recognize it. There are teachers, there are parents who make a tremendous difference to schools. There are alumni, people who went to those schools who give back. There are coaches, just well-wishers, just good people who give back, who do so much for Trinidad and Tobago, who do so much for the children of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. So I really wanted to mention them today. All right, blessings to you all as well. There is work still to be done, and let us do whatever we can as much as possible. And obviously, yes, those responsible have a duty as well. I have something I'm marking and watching to deal with, because it has been a problem before and it continues to be a problem. And I see it as something that I'm going to take on as part of my responsibility. It is something in one of my communities, the amount of communities I have, right? But I see it too often, and I have to endeavor my best to try to assist. And there's help in those efforts, as well as another person who lives in the community in the past has called me and said, hey, let's get together and do this, right? Because they see it as well, and it can make a huge difference for quite a number of children. So good morning to all those children going to school. Talk to your children, parents who sharing that space this morning on the way to school. Talk to them. Talk to them, right? Share your knowledge. Don't share the nonsense you do when you was in school at times, right? Don't share unless it is by way of a lesson, All right. Good morning. I don't know how many maxi drivers tuned in to 91.9 FM this morning. All here. Get the kids a little few minutes of some news and stuff as well now. And think about them and their development when you are choosing music to put on this morning and this afternoon in on the journey. Let us all think about the impact that we are having on our children, on the children, not just ours that are ours paternally or maternally, right? Not just those that hereditarily belong to us, but those that belong to us as part of our Trinidad and Tobago. Let's pay attention. All right, so we want to talk education a little bit, not just today, but maybe for a couple days during the week. We want to talk about the type of education system that we want to grow towards as well. You know, we have this traditional system, which has some merits in it, but we also want to continuously create and tailor it to ourselves, right? To better suit us as a people. We want it to contain some truth and some substance of our history, so that our children are inspired in a meaningful way. We want the education process also to be enjoyable. And we have spoken about that already before. We want a system that is not just rigid. We obviously want it to be disciplined, but we want it to be enjoyable. We want a system where our children are free from fear, so they are not bullied or abused, and they want to go to school. They are eager and enthusiastic to go to school. They value learning, and they do it in a way that is enjoyable. So we have to contemplate, and we have to encourage our responsible officials to tailor a system as such. We want to, say special good morning to those teachers as well who are going out, and we want to encourage them to give the best, right? We appreciate you all. I appreciate, that teacher. See that responsibility and that role, and all of the auxiliary staff that contribute towards the process of education, right? We appreciate those teachers who take on the job with that connection to the students as well. We appreciate it. I automatically, when I say the word teacher, some greats in education come to mind, right? From all through my educational process, from primary to tertiary education, right? Those teachers that put love into what they do. Eric Jean-Pierre in university, right? Mr. Simon in QRC. It's not an extensive list. There are others I just mentioning, right? In primary school, Miss Niles, Miss Robinson, Miss Samuel. Oh gosh, boy, I'll go on forever if I call all the names. But that love, that attention, we really thank those teachers, and we ask those other teachers to embrace that responsibility and that job that you have. We want to encourage them this morning as well. All right, so we're touching into the news, but we're still speaking about education as well. And we know that in schools there is this extra layer of protection, security for our children now. In 50 schools and a couple other schools that have patrols where there will be, the access to police officers, specially trained if necessary. And of course, the headline today is not just that fact that we are aware of, but also the fact that Mr. Dowlat, our minister and our government, has decided not to name the schools where those officers are going to go, right? And the reasons that they give are because they don't want that, stigmatization. They don't want the wider population to think about, hey, oh, that's a bad school, or this is because they have this extra officer there in case. Sometimes that school may have just had some prior issues of violence that came to the attention of the national population as well. All schools have little issues at times. I could tell you that, And just because those issues took place doesn't mean that, it's a continual thing, but prevention is better than cure. And then, of course, we do know that there are challenges that face many of our young children coming from some environments as well. We can't escape that. And I'm not coming this morning to lie to you all and tell you all that the system is perfect and our communities are perfect and we have a lot of work to do. And what the children see within their communities, they bring as well to the schools. Some of the schools are set. They're set in communities where there are challenges, and there has been a history of challenges. I use any word challenges, all they big and all they have sense, so they know what I mean, right? So improvements need to be made. I'm not going to outline all the changes that we want, but improvements have to be made to our communities, to the social setup, and then also to our schools and the way we pay attention to the education of all of our children. Right? We'll go through that on another day. Today is a little lighter. We ain't going into the nitty-gritty, as we just say in Trinidad this morning. Right? As I see my brother, Poor People Governor, right? Good morning. During Sequence Foundation. Blessings to you and blessings to all those people who made that effort as well to do the book drives and the assistance to children who who are a little less fortunate, and even some people avail themselves of the opportunity because it helped the financial situation. If you didn't have that cost, you could have directed the money that you would have spent on the bags and the books, etc., to something else profitable, I hope, meaningful, I hope, right? Trinbagonians, we still have a little pride, many of us, about ourselves. We're not going and take the free book and the free bag if we could afford it, right? I hope so. I'm working on the benefit of the doubt for us, right? But, school books are extremely expensive as well. The school shoes, everything costs. Right, there has been inflation for quite some time in Trinidad. Everything rising except those paychecks, right? We're trying to see what we could do about that too. But those challenges have been successfully met by a number of foundations, by us, by Trinidad and Tobago as well, right? Our government on our behalf took our money, $20 million plus, because $20 million was directed to grants, just, book grants, but also other money as well. Even private people put what they could into these implements for school. And we are grateful as well. As a people, we're grateful for that level of love that is shown. Nobody complains about the direction of money into the assistance of children with the implements that they need for school. Right, that's the love, right, Trinidad? We have no problem on that. We all see that as a positive, and we are all happy that those measures were taken. Yes, it may not have reached everyone across the length and breadth of this entire Twin Island Republic. If there's any child, any parent who has had that shortfall, don't worry. Don't worry. Work with what you have, and talk to them and explain and protect them from the little, might feel a little bad this morning, whatever. Things will get better unless once you dedicate yourself to that process of education and love, things will get better. So let us also appreciate what we have. The children who have gotten, let's appreciate what we have. Let us eliminate the ignorance and the focus too much on things as well. It's not about vanity. It's not a fashion show in school, right? Let us focus on what we are about. So, blessings again to all those children who heading out. Blessings to all the parents, blessings to all the teachers, and staff as well. Right? Let us take the most from our educational process. Let us gain as much as possible to drive our nation forward. We take the break, the ads, and then we'll be right back.
Let's go pay some bills on the street. 919 FM.
Light up your weekends at Vibes Nightclub, Tobago's hottest spot. 3 epic nights of music and energy await every Thursday. Karaoke Thursdays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Grab the mic, unleash your inner star, and sing all night. Beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and giveaways for the best singers. Every Friday, Limers Fridays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Vibes with your crew and enjoy beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and 2 White Oak for $25. Every Saturday, Raw Saturdays. Everything goes, nothing but good vibes. Free entry and an all-star DJ cast to bring the vibes. Vibes Nightclub is where Tobago shines. Join us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for music, fun, and unforgettable nights. Don't miss out. Your weekend starts at Vibes.
The #1 bookstore in Trinidad is having the biggest back-to-school sale for the holidays.
Shop at Chairman's Bookstore for the biggest back-to-school sale.
All your kindergarten, preschool,
primary, secondary school,
and tertiary education supplies at ridiculously low prices. Chairman's also carries a wide range of sneakers, socks, t-shirts, vests for girls and boys,
and much more items for school. So don't miss Chairman's back-to-school sale.
Now on Eastern Main Road, San Juan, Tunapuna.
2 locations at Twin City Mall, ground level and first level. We're also open on Sundays from 8 a.m. Check us on Facebook for up-to-date info and promotions. Also, message us for a quick response.
Calling all choir. This is TNT's first gospel choir event of its kind. It's finally here. This is Divine Harmony. Choirs from all over the country will vie for over $250,000 in prizes. Semi-final round, the East-West Corridor, Saturday, September 20th, Central and South Trinidad, Saturday, September 27th, and Tobago, Saturday, October 4th. To register, call 719-9599. TNT, get ready. This is Divine Harmony.
Everybody say it.
Cricket fans, it's time to smash hunger for 6. This CPL season, chase the crunch with KFC's. Boundary Bucket, 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 crispy tenders, and 4 mouth-watering sides just for $139.95. This offer is available via the KFC, TTT, AP, or in-store kiosks. So pad up, download the KFC TTT app, or click the kiosk to order today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on The Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Calling all choir. This is TNT's first gospel choir event of its kind. It's finally here. This is Divine Harmony. Choirs from all over the country will vie for over $250,000 in prizes. Semi-final round, the East-West Corridor, Saturday, September 20th, Central and South Trinidad, Saturday, September 27th, and Tobago, Saturday, October 4th. To register, call 719-9599. TNT, get ready. This is Divine Harmony.
Everybody say it. What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. The big nation, cause you don't know we will be crowned. Say what you want, KFC, so we.
The time is 7 a.m. This time check is sponsored by Nescafe, ready to drink. It just hits different.
And the playlist right, it hits different. Can you feel that shift? Nescafe, ready to drink. On the road, we on the go. Just grab your crew and grab your brew. Hits different, hits different. Vanilla latte mocha, it's different. With Nescafe, the party never over.
Nescafe, ready to drink.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launch from King's Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
Are you ready to elevate your baking game? Try Lion Brand Self-Rising Flour, now in our convenient and eco-friendly pouch packaging. With just the right balance of flour and baking powder, our self-rising flour takes the guesswork out of baking. Whether you're whipping up fluffy pancakes for the kids or baking a delicious cake for that special occasion, Lion Brand Self-Rising Flour helps you create not just food, but connections that bring people together. Bake more, worry less, and share the goodness. Lion Brand, the power behind our great taste traditions.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
And we are back. Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. So, you know, just touching on the same article that we were reading before in terms of stigmatization with schools, and, you know, that understanding that the government is trying to show in terms of not publishing the names of the schools to put it into the public domain. You know, this school or that school is more challenged, you know, with violence, etc. Although that may not be the case, you know, there may arise issues and people, officers, etc., need to still respond to schools that were not given this extra layer of security. But we know that some environments have been more challenging as well. And we also know that because of the structure of the system that we set the structure that way, right? That socioeconomics are connected with crime, right? And the communities that we live in, there are communities that are more affected because of these socioeconomic issues in those communities as well. And therefore, where the concentration of students from those areas, there are going to be some issues as well, right? We even have this spillover of community issues and conflicts into some schools. That's the sad reality of the situation that we live in, right? We know that. And therefore, we have to meet those challenges as best as possible, even with a certain level of sensitivity still. And, you know, I want us to understand that in every context of our children's school lives as well. Let us work on those children as they go to school. Let us ensure that the support is given to those children who have certain challenges. They come from environments with certain challenges. And we know that because of the violence that has been taking place in our communities, in our country for a long period of time, that our young ones are exposed. They're exposed to a certain level of violence. And we must make that effort to make it right. We need to make that extra effort to debrief, right? To straighten back out the brain, because they're seeing there's a certain input in the society, right? You know, on the other news this morning, there are issues. Right? There are issues that transpired over the weekend that same way we could read, the same way we saw the notifications on social media, etc. They are seeing those things as well. I remember at one point in time being astonished by certain headlines in our society. Right? I don't even want to go back to mention the particular headline, but it was so gruesome and graphic, and everyone had it, and everyone in the sense that, you know, I felt as though as a young person growing up, before when I was younger, I wasn't exposed to things that way. And I was really concerned when I read and I saw the headline and the accompanying picture, etc. I was concerned about younger people who now have to deal with that dynamic, because my generation would not have dealt with it in that way, would not have been exposed. Right? As a population, our children are exposed to a lot. The access to information and to pictures and to this and to that and to certain, the access is tenfold, 10 times more. So we now need to put those factors into our understanding and now deal with that challenge. We need to deal with that challenge within our school systems and, of course, at home. Right? And we really extend ourselves in appreciation for the people who extend themselves beyond their homes. There are people who extend themselves beyond just their family as well to assist other families. You know, that is Trinbagonian. Are we talking about what is Trinbagonian, right? That household and households within communities that raise and assist other children, that's true Trini. You know, I like to emphasize on the positive aspects of what our culture was and is. I want it to be present as well. Good morning to Michelle and Mova, right? Someone like that. Not just her children, it's her children. Right? Good morning to her as well. You know, so we see throughout the news as well, just to touch on the news, a number of issues that transpired over the weekend. You know, happy to see that the Caribbean Airlines pilot has been found alive as well, right? Really positive as well. So he was kidnapped and held for a certain period of time. Some of us were very concerned when we saw the discovery of his vehicle burnt, right? But thank God he has been recovered. And in the same breath that we are critical sometimes about the nonsense that the police service does at times, we are also grateful for the positive things that are done. And that's a tremendous effort. Tremendous effort by the officers. And I also want to echo the words of the Commissioner of Police as well. You know, he said that path of criminal activity to try to get money, to make money, don't bother with that path. And I really want to outline that to not just the children, but everybody, the younger adults as well, even the older adults as well, who may, for whatever reason, their minds playing them tricks, right? Sometimes in the harshness of the environment, your mind playing you tricks. You begin thinking in a manner that is really going to cause you problems. Crime and criminality, certain actions will not bear fruit. It just will not work out. And even more so in this climate and this environment where there's an extra effort to deal with certain things. So think again. Right, that bad plan somebody come up with because they watch some movie or something. Watch our next movie. Think about some hustle that is legal. Think about something that does not involve harming others. Because it is not working out. It did not work out ever, and it will not work out ever. We're taking the calls as well, eh? Good morning.
Good morning to you, big brother.
Hey, morning, brother. Welcome.
It's good to be in the land of the living.
Yeah, man.
And survive the weekend. Let me say, the parakeet passing over my house. 2 parakeets over my house. I have a tree there where I stop under that tree where the parakeet is good and eat in the night time and eat early in the morning. So they now finish. So they're going west now. Let me say this morning to the kids, the children. I wish all the children are the best on the next journey, because I know some of them, Sitka mentioned, some of them going up in some 4 or 5. I wish them the best on the journey. I hope that they study well. I ask God to keep them out from trouble. I ask God to keep them away from bad hands. And I ask God to keep all the evilness away from our children of Trinidad and Tobago. Each one of our children of Tobago. To collaborate with each one of them. I ask God to guide them today. Watch over them. This is our future. And how they have bright minds, clean heart, and clean soul. I'm so happy that most of the children will be going back out to school today. I know that they get an extension of a whole week. Last week they was to go to school and the minister said no, because they know normally that parent say, I send my children back to school next week because they didn't get enough stuff. So I hope that each and single parent get enough stuff to send the children to school. And even if they don't get enough stuff and you have something, still send them to school, because that is the way today. Education is the way. It wasn't like a long time, but now it is the way of the future. And I want to tell the parents this. I understand that all you buy all your nice books, all your nice school shirt, all your nice fancy children, and them, all your comb your children head nice, do makeup, all you buy everything new and brand. But the word come to me this morning as I was up, as I was up every morning, early in the morning, very early as we up, to tell this country and to tell the parents, most of all, before, no matter all the nice things and things all you buy, and the children looking nice, and this morning was going to post them up on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and show us how nice our children looking. Before all your kids leave home, hold all your children hand and say our prayers with them. And that's all God is asking all this morning. Hold all your kids, hug them up, hold all your children, and say our prayers before they leave the house. Do not study the nice sneakers and the nice Nike and the Jordan and the brand name. Do not study the nice shirt and the nice pants they paint on and the makeup. That is all well and done, all well and good. The message this morning from me, Kingsley, to God, that hold the kids, say our prayers with the children this morning. Do not just send all the children back to school just so. Say our prayers with them A good prayer. I don't know what prayers we're going to say, but say our prayers with the children. So I am so happy that our school term is open to see the children back in the uniform. See them. I know some parents is so happy. Some parents happy because school is like a relaxing to that. They get a breather. They go to work. They have to run home early. They have to leave home, leave work early and things. So I am happy for the kids and them. I'm happy for the parents and them who organize the children and those who don't organize the children. Still, it's a hope. Tomorrow might be a better day. Next week it will be a better day. Don't give up. Don't throw yourself in the bush. Don't kill yourself. Don't say by pressure. Things hard with everybody. But don't say, hey, I'm giving up. Tomorrow might be a better day. Next hour, next minute, next second, next week. Let's hold the faith. And once you hold that faith and believe that something will happen, it will happen. It does happen. It might not happen right away, but it will happen along the way. So my brother, this is my message for the school children and them, and for the parents and them. Say our prayers with the children before they leave the house. Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ford. I heard your good friend made a very pertinent intervention this morning. That's Mr. Kingsley. I think it was timely.
Yeah, absolutely necessary as well.
Yeah. You know what I look at? You have your children, and I heard about other people whose children, were very successful. But it goes beyond, some of the niceties that we hear about. And do they have a plan for the children? Those people who are entering school, those who are going from third form to fourth form, where they're going to be in preparation for the AGC or CXC or whatnot. Do they have a study plan for them? Is anybody helping them with respect to the school guidance officers and whatnot, liaising with the parents, especially those people in the depressed community? Do they have that? Because I'm sure you have a plan for your child. Into a study plan. When you come from school, how many hours you're going to spend? 2 hours or 1.5 hours every evening, right? Going over your work and whatnot and sitting down and helping them to plan and, going revising, explaining things to them that they may not have understood during the course of the day. All these things you need to do. You need that. Not just extra lessons, but even though some parents, I know they don't have the capacity, and not everybody is fortunate, but the fact, just being there with your children. I remember this lady they called this child, I think, who is now an attorney in Barbados and whatnot. She had a mother with her all the time. So it doesn't mean to say that, and I don't know that she was a lawyer, but the fact that you're there with your children, and you're going along with them and you're seeking to explain and ask questions and all, it's very critical. So it goes beyond, because you're sending children to school when they come home in the evening, no revision, nothing, they're going out to play. Yes, people have to have some recreation, but I saw people, successful people, and I listened to Morgan Job with his children, I listened to Arnold Roberts and those people and their children have been very successful. And the things they do, he used to come to the radio station and listen on an evening while I doing my work and whatnot, and the child was there with a book and the child reading, and while he's speaking, the child, he's helping the child asking questions. You have to be more. You must be much more interactive with your child with respect to schoolwork. And if you don't have, ask other people, get other people to help. That's the only way you want to get your children out of that quagmire, that culture of poverty. Because education is the road towards an improvement or lifting your standard of living.
Mr. West, I'm writing standard 3 on my first daughter book, right? Because we label the books. And I'm feeling anxious already because you know what after standard 3 is standard 4. And after standard 4 is standard 5. And then common entrance. That is where some parents are in terms of paying attention. I already anxious in understanding that more preparation needs to be put in to ensure her future. So it is it's a serious thing as well. And if you don't know, if you can't do yourself, and you may have missed in your lifetime, still want the best for them. In the library in Diego Martin, for children, they have storytelling. You would be amazed how far it will take your child to sit down and hear stories being read by someone who is reading in proper English so that they can learn 2 languages. Were you talking home? Trinbagonian and English. So we have to pay attention, as you say, Mr. West. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I look at that. And the fact also that you have the school guidance officers, they have to be more. I mean, I went to school and I know that you have teachers who were very much into the work of the progress of the children. You have those who didn't care. Nobody is telling me that. I went to school and you had children who teachers would say more, not because they were disruptive, but they have, sometimes they know that this child mother, they know this child father, they know this and that, this will bring this for them and all kind of things. The fact remains is this, is that you would have a responsibility to your child or your children and do so. And I've seen people who took that interest in their children and the children were very successful. They come with it every minute, all how you turn them with the children. You have to stay with your children, you have to hold on to them. And those school guidance needs to be, especially in those, I don't know whether they have school, in fact, in those first communities, I don't know whether in fact the distribution of the school or the establishment of school support system with social workers, whether they have those things in those communities. Because I remember even in the 80s, imagine you have social workers in those prestige schools, you are saying, guidance office, and in those schools, the more in the lesser prestige schools, they don't have any, and that is where it was needed. So I hope that when they allocate those people in those communities where they are more needed, where they are necessary, where they're essential. So that is what all I want to say this morning, Mr. Abubakar. Thank you, but I'm saying that, and I'm very sober about that. And the question of people in the community, when you have children, I remember in my days I was doing combination, so I just want to do on that. And we had about 3 or 4 little boys and whatnot. We went to the same class. And the mother called, said, listen, come home by us about 6 o'clock. And there was a group, and the mother would prepare dinner and all that, and we sit down. That was group work. And I didn't understand it at that point in time. And I didn't understand. And most the people who congregated, who assembled there, all of us were successful. And I didn't understand, she didn't understand the essence or the importance of group work. And therefore, if you live in a community and you have children who, you try to get them with proper supervision to work in groups. It's very productive. It could be very productive, but you have to be there because it can also be very unproductive. And therefore, get into groups and whatnot to organize in those communities and try to help each other within that context. Thank you, Mr. Abu. I don't want to take too much of your time there.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Don't worry, the population appreciates your contributions every morning, right? Blessings to you. And I want to reiterate as well what Mr. Kingsley as well would have said, because I also go back to that picture of parents dropping off the good daughter or son, right? And when you see pictures, a little gremlin in a school uniform, right? I myself, my children, kids that could give trouble, right? So they're not perfect, and I think even of my little gremlins as well, and some of the naughty things, especially when they're smaller, that they do. So pray with your children, right? Pray for the teachers as well. Pray for them teachers. Two jobs I want. 2 jobs that tremendous responsibility. Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago and teachers of these these children sometimes. It is not easy. So say a prayer for the teachers as well. Morning.
Yeah, morning, my brother. Calling from Tobago here.
Welcome to Tobago in the house, man.
Yeah, you know, I listened to Kingsley and the last caller there, and you know, the points they made were such pertinent points. But however, I have a spin on that, you know. Let me tell you something. We concerned about the children going to school now. How about the thousands that just left and realized this morning that they have nowhere to go to?
Yeah.
I'm talking about those that just leave school. Some have 3 subjects, some 5, but they don't have, the parents don't have the, not just the will, but the finance to support them to the other level.
Yeah.
Those are my real concerns. Those that go into school, they still have a school meal to get, or you know. How about those that leave school this morning and wake up this morning, some waste time and only realize that the 5 years has elapsed and they didn't really do anything? And here is where the spin does turn to the crime and to the other things.
Yeah.
And this is my concern with society. And you see, this is such a serious social problem that until we address it, especially from first form, to let children know that, listen, you see this 5 years in secondary school is the most important 5 years of your life. Here's where we're gonna shape your career path. And as the last caller I told, I said, and Kingsley, it is so important that parents get involved in the children, have a say, know where your children are, so that when they finish, when the 5 years finish, you already know what's gonna happen in the 6th year and onwards.
So you made this point and then left. Thank you very much from Tobago. Yeah, you're opening up a whole different dynamic there within the promise of and the encouragement to educate yourself. Is that absolute important responsibility of our society as well to also provide those jobs, to have that economic space for them to move forward and utilize the skills and the education that they would have been given. Morning, Prezi, welcome.
Yes, morning, Imam Fuad Abubakar, morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning. Blessed morning to you, bro.
Yeah, morning, oh God, omni-existent, oh God, truth. Truth as it is what I hear in this morning coming from people that of the desire. And congratulations to all children that going back out to school. According to the last one too, well, to those who can go out or seeing problem to go out, we say the best that could happen, let it happen so that they could see a better day and better time coming. Now, the conversation with children mostly has so much to talk, but I can't do too much talking this morning because somebody else wants to talk to. Time coming up. But as all you talk about parents, now, I have a brother growing up in this society, and somehow the scripture says children making children. Go from there. Because many of the parents is like children growing up children. And when you look at the society, well, plenty children encouraging a lot of notices where the children is concerned. We have to be truthful in what we understand in society. Many may do the best they could do. Many, when you watch it, they're just as difficult as many of the children that you're going to call demons. That is the case in our society. And the growth to education, even so, that most of the education you're getting is more like is industrial education, because after Massa bring me to what we are and how we are today. You talked something earlier on that don't only look at the academics of what Massa put in up, but look at how we could grow the African people, especially the African people. Poor people, but African people towards education of themselves. And these things are so, because without that, we continually talk a lot about liberation and things, but we having a divided society by thoughts, words, and also deeds. And to the extent that we going to say we want a better society, all of us have to think again of what direction we really taking to have that better society. When many of us, as parents, as elders, lackadaisical is the word I would like to use here, towards growth and how the system is and how we live with the system. So then eventually, we have to be very careful of the children that we really bringing up, saying we want the best out of them. I won't talk much because if I go to talk, I go into all kind of Monroe doctrine and Willie Lynch syndrome to understand where we at. It is like we're talking about the Monroe doctrine of how the UK and the Americas treating the world and how the children seeing it and they getting educated with AI. That most of the communication today, many lies within it, but the human himself is not properly, whatever they call, conscious, honorable, just, truthful with communication with one another. Because if you have in discord with one another and evil passing through the minds of one another, what do you think the AI and the www internet going to be teaching you most? Not the evil that you're seeing, you will do. So I'm glad to see that many children will be going out this morning, but I'm begging the parents and them to be much more responsible. According to the first chapter in the commandment, love God, because he's watching the iniquities of the parents upon the children of the third and the fourth generation that hate him. And I always look at that properly, that you must bring up the child so that when they reach bigger, they wouldn't do the things that will shame you, but do the things that will make them benefit and proud, make you proud in coming up. So I would say just that, and everything else, everybody saying good. The children is the matter today. Keep it there. I wouldn't go into the politics now because we want the children to go out and with our mind not too much on the politics this morning, but on the education. So let's keep it nice. I say something there for us to recognize. Let us work on the parents. All that when we're talking about parent teachers meeting with people don't like to go, people haven't been going for the longest while, a place where you're supposed to have consultation and all that to be able to know how your children going in school and to know how you could develop them. Plenty of parents not going, and you could imagine why after I done see all what I say. So thank you for the morning and bringing that, and all you wake up. I don't have children, and I'm looking out for the whole world of people who poor and under subjugation. I dealing with the system, and what I say is what I see, not what nobody tell me, but what I see. So all you buck up, make a better for all yourself and all your children and the world at large. Thank you, Fuad Imam Fuad Abubakar. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago. And thank you, God, for the lesson you could give unto them in this world today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prezi. So, we want to utilize those wise words, right? We want to pray that our children as well are able to take in that education that they're given. Not just the academic part alone, but the guidance that is also given by some of those loving, brilliant teachers that we have in the school system as well. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Abubakar. How are you doing?
I'm good, and good morning to you. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Mr. Abubakar, you know this morning a lot of children will not be going back to school and may never be going back to school again. Are you aware of that?
Well, I don't know a lot what that contains in terms of numerical, but I know there are children who that may be their circumstance this morning. Go ahead.
And that is because of the purge that was done to the poor people, the RP, the people in the mountain who do the forestry and all these things. These families that was devastated by this new regime behavior, some of these parents and them on the breadline right now are looking for home. The landlord is threatening to put them out and all that, because that money used to pay rent and send those children to school and all that, and nothing is put in place, right? And we would be experiencing in the near future a lot of more delinquents on our streets and in our homes, with children fighting against their parents and all that, because parents cannot afford to send them to school and so on.
Yeah,
so
I understand that, and I'm sure that is a reality for some children this morning, because if that was your sole income, it is undoubtedly challenging this morning to even attempt to try to get your children to school. And I agree with you, and I want to say that those who are responsible and in authority, they need to pay attention to that fact and to ensure that the support is given to fix that problem. So thank you very much for raising that.
I have a second point that I just want to raise.
Feel free.
We experiencing a 1, 2, 3 of Miss Camilla's reign. The first one, her first reign was in education, when she stopped corporal punishments in school and so on, and that had led to tremendous effect on parents, even disciplining their children. Children was walking in school with knives and all these kind of things, and up to this day, we still have a scourge, a problem in that. And then come her second incarnation, where she come and she got the country in the last regime there, and she only run back to the East-West corridor when it was close to election. You understand? And she tried to do things, and people stand up for her against her for almost 10 years, and now she is back, and she's now back, and we have the U.S. hanging now to start a war in the Caribbean with our nearest neighbors, Venezuela. I am only hoping and praying that Trinidad will be able to be able to can't find the word, but we are hoping to get past this last scourge that she is putting on our country and on our Caribbean. We only hope that God will bless us and make sure that America wouldn't leave us like how they leave Iraq and all them other countries. When they come in and when they finish, the country is much, much worse and can't see the way up to now. Thank you, my friend, for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much for expressing your opinion as well. And I'm not even too minded. I don't want to take the program down that path this morning too much. But I understand that some people are of the view in particular, and this one correlates with what we have been speaking about with the children, right? Some people are of the view that the removal of corporal punishment from our schools is something that would have had a negative impact on the discipline of our children. And, you know, that arguments for and against that theory have been offered within the context of parents, you know, utilizing corporal punishment, you know, disciplining their children in whatever ways. We also have that responsibility, right? Even though corporal punishment may have been removed from the schools, we as parents, and I'm speaking even from my perspective as well, we all have that responsibility to find the best way to discipline children. And of course, within the school system as well, they would have adapted to try to find ways to discipline children, right? And I think it's a bit unfair sometimes when people try to to attribute, all of those challenges that we have with our children and some of the challenges we would have had even before that towards that removal of licks, if you want to call it that, the physical beating in school for whatever wrong that you may have done. Even if we look towards other places throughout the world, and I always say I'm not talking about the United States because they are tremendously backward socially, right? They have social issues that resemble ours. But I'm speaking about more developed societies that have a certain level of discipline, etc. Not all of them utilize that physical beating in schools, but they find ways to streamline and discipline their children. And they do not encounter the level of disobedience and violence and other things that we have. So let us also be fair in our understanding of things, and let us as well do our best with our children. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Mr. Abubakar, it's good to hear you disabuse this whole notion of this corporal punishment and go to the source of it. The fact that Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child. And this thing wasn't done by whim or by, feelings. They did surveys. They investigated the whole thing and they came up. It was scientific. And they said that corporal punishment, right, had an adverse or negative impact or effect on children. We are signatory to that International Convention of the United Nations. We signed that. It was ratified. It was incorporated into our law. And when people talk about adherence to rule of law, international law, we need to, the rule of law also applies there, not just to domestic law. And so the fact that you said that the lady, she because of the fact that we were signatory to it, what the government should have done over the last 10 years or so, they should have denounced it or withdraw from it. If some of the followers believe that it was so detrimental and it was causing, you could have withdrawn from it. You could withdraw from treaties. You could from conventions, declarations and whatnot, protocol. You could withdraw from it. And the fact remains is that it was signed, and most 193 countries were signatory to it. They felt that it had an adverse impact based on the research done internationally.
Yeah. I don't want to send adults back to school, but I feel when people put up those nonsensical arguments, trying to attribute what has taken place in our society, the degradation of our culture and our social fabric, to removal of corporal punishment from just schools. When I hear that type of simplistic, stupid argument, I feel to send people back to school, I feel to send them back to not even standard one in primary school sometimes,
But I went to school at a time very early, and I knew of parents who entered schools and abused teachers for flogging the children. Big fight in the school. Teachers fear for their lives and their safety. So I don't understand, these people, I don't know, it has political currency and probably they see that. But I'm saying that, one has to be truthful. One has to let these people, in fact, even what I say and you say, they are accepting that. But that is the fact. And they can go and read up on it. You have computer, you have cell phone, you could Google and you could get to the United Nations and whatnot, and you get the information. But you could still deny it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I could tell you as a parent myself, it's not a matter so much as I would have a problem with somebody giving the children a little spank, or even what I would have gotten a ruler on my hand for certain things. But you, even as a parent, try to assess sometimes if physically hitting them is the right option, if it makes sense. You try to find the best way forward for their discipline. And, you know, you really are tasked. And a lot of times, when you reach a frustration point, where they trip you off, so to speak, where you are not in control, is when you reach to the point that you hit, when that ain't really the period when you're supposed to you get a tap on your hand or some kind of thing. You have to be very careful with the administering of that level of spanking or whatever you want to call it as well, so as to not take it too far to physical harm. Is a real balancing act parents this have to do. And our effort sometimes to not allow a certain behavior in schools like corporal punishment is out of trying to do what is best also for the children. So let us be real as well. Let us be real as well in this context. Let us find the best way possible. Sometimes I think it's more of an idea. Let us leave that level of discipline, if you want to call it that, to the parents, right? So the parents are called in when certain situations take place. They are informed of the situation. There are penalties in terms of the way that children are punished, young children, and then as they go gradually older. And the option is there for the parent to know how to deal with that child from there. So it is challenging.
Sorry for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No problem.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Morning, caller.
Yeah, sorry about all those mishaps.
That's all right. Go ahead. You're on.
Yes,
I'm hearing you clearly.
I was just listening. Well, I'm an avid listener. And that last conversation between you and the gentleman, I sort of disagree in a great way, because I went to school during the time of corporal punishment. I'm 63. And I could see most of those people that went to school during that time come out pretty well. I want to know if the world's most brilliant mind sat and came up with that idea of corporal punishment having an adverse effect. Isn't it now having an adverse effect by removing it from schools? The countries that say no corporal punishment in schools are those that carrying guns in the school and killing one another.
No, sir. I would want to say to you as well, right? You may be looking towards maybe America or something that has had challenges, but there are other countries that have no problems with disciplines of their children because of their culture, etc. And corporal punishment does not exist in their schools. So we could look a little further, maybe to Northern Europe, to Japan, to other civilized communities, societies, and you would see something different. So I understand what people say, but at the same time, you really have to take a proper look at it to come to proper conclusions as well. And there was violence before corporal punishment was removed. And how much people who get licks on licks on licks, the generation before, still come out and do evil, horrible things. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm listening, but we have to be fair as well to what is taking place.
I hear you out there, but I still believe in you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Okay.
And I understand that as well. I understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this is the next thing as well. So we believe that the rod is only a physical rod. Some of us believe that the only rod is a physical rod that is not also metaphoric for punishment and also encouragement, right? And we have to weigh that up and understand how to deal with our children. And I again, personally as a parent, you know, a little tap, you do somebody something, this is how it feels. Don't do them that because and you don't like how that feel. But we have to be careful. We have to know what we're doing. All right? Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Abubakar.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yes, I was now here listening to what they're saying about the parents and them have to deal with the children and them too. And what I do like, parents, some of them now, not standing up with the children and asking them how is the day and whatever it is. And it have plenty little work, like mechanic who can do this set of studying. Put them in these things and they will get a trade. I don't understand why people not doing that. I do that with my children. My boy, I have two boys there. And one worked by Ramesh Salila for 9 years. Just buffing the floor and cleaning the floor in them times. Why people not getting the children in little work to do? Don't have them idling. You see the idling? That have a lot to do with it. Especially when you see like all school clothes and things, you get them in a little thing or put them in a little thing. Don't have them idling. Although some people pocket can't reach it or whatever, but it's how people will take the child and learn to do something. And still when the end of the week, they will still give him a little
something.
Change.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, boy?
Yeah.
If everybody do that, it will not no crime, it will not no such a thing. And that is what we need. Especially boy children, but the girls too, you have to have them occupied too.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to be singing, man. Is the idleness causing all this bacchanal in this country, Trinidad and Tobago right now, really? And people not looking at it that form.
Yeah.
I 72 years and I had two boy children and I never had that problem. I don't know why people not doing something about it. See about all your children. Always have them doing something.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, you too have a blessed day. And we could never forget that as well, right? As in the same breath as those spare the rod and spoil the child, which I agree with. In the same breath, we have to understand that the devil finds mischief still for idle hands to do. Good morning. You just have to be quicker. We have 1 minute. Sorry.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Baka. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning. Sorry, you just have to be quick. We just have 1 minute. Sorry.
Sure, no problem. All these people who talking about the corporal punishment and they want it back and so on. These same people, if their children come home this afternoon from school and say, Mommy or Daddy or Grandpa, I get licks in school. Them same people who complaining, they want it back. Them same people going in the school tomorrow morning to want to beat and fight and kill teachers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just deal with your children. You are going to be advised as well if your children run afoul in school. That is part of the process now, according to what they do. You have that right then. You deal with your children in the best way possible in terms of disciplining them. Because a loving, caring parent will try the best to find a way to deal with their children and know how much licks to give who. To some children, boy, licks is like, it ain't doing them nothing. It's fuel. You have to know. It has some children, you hear them, and they saying, that is all. So, love and respect to everyone. That part of it, you deal with it at home, right? And love your children. And don't spare the rod and spoil the child, But understand it is not just a physical whipping alone. It may be that sometimes, but it is not just that. Right? It's that constant intervention, that disciplining, that cautioning, that encouragement, that correcting. That is the whole of that process. All right, and as mom also called in and said, the devil finds mischief still for idle hands to do, right? Occupy your children's time as well. Make sure that they are supervised and that they are active. All right, blessings to everyone. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We're back tomorrow and all week. Take care.
This is the voice of Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. We are preaching Emergency Alert broadcast, which is from the Tuesday Seventh-day Adventist Church. We will be featuring